Drew Dober is a seasoned UFC vet with a solid fan base. He's a mixed martial artist who began his UFC career in 2013, and he has a pro MMA record of 24 wins, 10 losses, and 1 no contest. Now there's a fight against Paddy Pimblett on the cards. Pimblett is a relative newcomer who cannot match Dober's experience by a long shot. Who's pipped as the favorite in this bout? We're about to scratch under the surface so you can make an accurate prediction. Dober has been a consistent performer in the UFC.
I want those fights. Hats off to Rafael Alves. The fights that I say yes to are the fights that I know they're going to be exciting.
Having fought some of the best fighters in the lightweight division, he has faced the likes of Beneil Dariush, Islam Makhachev, and Alexander Hernandez, among others. He's also been awarded 3 Fight of the Night bonuses in his UFC career, indicating his exciting style inside the octagon. Dober's fighting style is best described as aggressive and powerful. He is known for his striking ability and has an impressive 73% striking accuracy. He has powerful punches and kicks, which he uses to great effect in his fights. He's also a solid wrestler and has a 60% takedown defense rate. Dober's ability to finish fights is a testament to his power and technical ability. He has 18 finishes in his professional career, with 9 of them coming by way of knockout. Dober's ability to strike with power and precision makes him a tough opponent for anyone in the lightweight division. He's had several memorable fights during his UFC career, with many of them showcasing his impressive striking ability and aggressive style inside the octagon. One of Dober's most memorable fights came against Beneil Dariush at UFC Fight Night 146 in 2019. The fight was a back-and-forth battle, with both fighters trading shots and showing their grappling skill. However, it was Dober's striking ability that proved to be the difference maker, as he landed a vicious right hand in the second round that knocked out Dariush. The knockout was one of the most impressive of Dober's career and earned him a Performance of the Night bonus. Another memorable fight for Dober came against Marco Polo Reyes at UFC Fight Night 114 in 2017. Dober dominated the fight from start to finish, using his striking prowess to outclass Reyes and earn a TKO victory in the second round. The win showcased Dober's technical ability and power and earned him another Performance of the Night bonus. In 2020, Dober faced off against Alexander Hernandez at UFC Fight Night 171. The fight was a closely contested battle, with both fighters trading shots and showing off their grappling skills. However, it was Dober's striking ability that proved to be the difference maker once again, as he landed a big right hand in the second round that knocked out Hernandez. The win earned Dober another Performance of the Night bonus and further cemented his status as the most dangerous striker in the lightweight division. While Drew Dober is a talented and experienced fighter, he does have some weaknesses that opponents can exploit in the octagon. 2 key weak points are his susceptibility to submissions and his tendency to slow down in later rounds. Dober has lost 5 of his professional fights by submission, indicating a weakness in his grappling defense. One example of this weakness was his fight against Olivier Aubin-Mercier at UFC 206 in 2016. Dober was outclassed on the ground by Aubin-Mercier and eventually submitted with a rear naked choke in the second round. Another weakness Dober has shown is his tendency to slow down in later rounds of fights. This was evident in his fight against Beneil Dariush at UFC Fight Night 146 in 2019. Dober started the fight strong, but as the fight progressed, he began to slow down and was eventually knocked out by Dariush in the second round. This fight showed Dober's vulnerability in later rounds and his need to improve his cardio and stamina. Paddy Pimblett made his UFC debut in September 2021.
I won the first 2 rounds and then coasted in the third. I knew I was 2 rounds up, so I didn't want to do nothing dangerous and risk losing the fight.
With a highly anticipated fight against Luigi Vendramini at UFC Fight Night 191. Pimblett showcased his striking ability and finishing skill, knocking out Vendramini in the first round with a devastating left hook. The win marked an impressive start to Pimblett's UFC career and put the lightweight division on notice. Pimblett's most memorable fight, however, came in his time outside of the UFC, during his featherweight title fight against Julian Erosa at Cage Warriors 96 in 2018. Pimblett was the reigning featherweight featherweight champion, and he had not lost a fight in over 2 years. Erosa proved to be a tough challenge, taking Pimblett down multiple times and nearly finishing him with a submission in the second round. However, Pimblett showed his resilience and heart, fighting back to dominate the final 3 rounds and earning a unanimous decision victory. The fight put Pimblett's ability to overcome adversity on display, and it underlined his determination to win at all costs. In his second UFC fight, Pimblett faced experienced veteran and former lightweight champion Diego Sanchez at UFC Fight Night 194 in November 2021. Pimblett again displayed his striking and grappling skills, controlling Sanchez on the ground and eventually submitting him with a rear naked choke in the second round. The win marked another impressive victory for Pimblett in his young UFC career. Pimblett's aggressive style and finishing ability make him an exciting fighter to watch in the octagon. While Paddy Pimblett has had a strong start to his UFC career, there are still some weaknesses in his game that opponents can exploit. His lack of experience is one. Before joining the UFC, Pimblett competed mainly in the Cage Warriors promotion, where he faced relatively unknown opponents. This lack of experience against high-level fighters could make him vulnerable against more experienced opponents in the UFC. There's also his susceptibility to being taken down and controlled on the ground. In his fight against Julian Erosa at Cage Warriors 96, Erosa was able to take Pimblett down multiple times and nearly finished him with a submission in the second round. Pimblett was able to come back and win the fight, but his vulnerability on the ground is something that opponents may look to exploit. Finally, Pimblett's striking defense has been questioned in the past. In his fight against Soren Bak at Cage Warriors 96, Bak was able to land some significant strikes on Pimblett and had him rocked at one point. Pimblett was able to recover and win the fight, but his ability to defend against powerful strikers is something he will need to improve upon. The UFC competition is tougher than he's been used to up to now. Drew Dober has the potential to defeat Paddy Pimblett in their upcoming fight at UFC 288. There's no doubt about it. One reason for this is his experience fighting against top-level competition in the UFC. Dober has been competing in the UFC since 2013 and has faced tough opponents such as Beneil Dariush, Islam Makhachev, and Alexander Hernandez. This experience at the highest level of the sport could give Dober an advantage over Pimblett, who has yet to face the same level of competition in the UFC. Another factor that could work in Dober's favor is his striking ability. Dober is known for his powerful striking and has scored knockouts in several of his UFC fights. If he can keep the fight standing, he could potentially land a devastating strike on Pimblett, who's been rocked in the past by his opponent's striking. Dober's striking power combined with his experience could pose a significant threat to Pimblett in their fight. Furthermore, Dober's wrestling ability could also play a factor in the fight. While Pimblett has good grappling game, Dober's wrestling could help him avoid being taken down and control the fight on the feet. If he can stuff Pimblett's takedowns and keep the fight standing, he could pick Pimblett apart with his striking and potentially earn a knockout victory. Overall, while Pimblett has shown promise in his UFC career so far, Dober's experience, striking ability, and wrestling could make him a tough opponent to beat. If he can utilize his skills effectively, Dober has the potential to hand Pimblett his first loss in the UFC. We'll catch you ringside or in the next video.